Warframe is my favorite game. I mean, at this point I have a little over 5,500 hours. And I've played all the Warframes at least a little bit. So I wanted to use that experience to try and hopefully help new and returning players understand the Warframes a little bit better. Their abilities, themes, and playstyles, to help figure out which ones they want to farm for or purchase. Just to help figure out which playstyle they might prefer. This playlist is going to go in order of which they can become available to farm and craft. Meaning, towards the beginning, some frames might seem a little out of place, but that's just because most frames, after a certain point in the beginning, end up requiring a resource required from Jupiter. I will include spoiler warnings partway into the playlist, for once we reach a point where frames may include some form of story spoiler, for where they need to be farmed, or anything else that might be needed to be said for them. Each time I go over a frame, I am going to finish with how you can acquire them. Before we move on to the starter frames, I do want to keep a couple general terms for new players in mind. Many frames currently have a prime variant. These primes are slightly stronger in a couple of areas, and usually have additional modding polarities. The bonuses are usually just something like 35 extra health, or 20 extra shields, and 1 dash symbol polarity. Each prime has its own unique buffs compared to their original, so I will include all those differences. However, not having a prime will not put you behind or make you less effective. It's more just a cherry on top to give you a little extra oomph. Primes have the same skins and helmets as the base form frames, as well as their own prime skins, which look fancy. Some also have additional cosmetic items unique to them, such as Volt Prime having a different type of armor. I personally consider getting your first prime to be something of a rite of passage, because it's just a special type of thing in my mind. The game will, of course, walk you through getting primes currently available. A second thing to know, and arguably more important, is exalted weapons. Some Warframes, not all but a select few, have what is known as an exalted weapon or a pseudo-exalted weapon. Exalted weapons are weapons unique to individual frames that is used in their abilities. For example, Excalibur has his exalted blade, but Mag never can use an exalted weapon. All exalted weapons and pseudo-exalted weapons are fully moddable as its own weapon and possess unique effects based on the ability that it's summoned with. Pseudo-exalted weapons are weapons used in only 1 or 2 abilities and not fully summonable as a weapon. For example, Excalibur can summon the Exalted Blade and use it as a melee weapon, but Korra can only use her whip for one of her abilities. Not every frame has an exalted weapon, but enough of them have it for me to justify making this little section talking about them. But, with all that said, let's start off with the poster boy.